Good morning, South Florida, and welcome to my show. I am your host, Anabel Hume, live from the studios of Miami's Community News. Today, we have a very special guest. His name is Manny Alfonso with the A Group. He is founder and president, and the A Group is a full service Hispanic marketing, PR, and events agency with offices in Miami, New York, and Houston. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. What a pleasure.
Good. Today's show is sponsored by Heyday Marketing, a full service digital advertising, marketing, and public relations agency based right here in Miami, Florida. But today, before we begin our special program, I would like to congratulate you with the A Group and Eduardo Moya. He was our guest last show with Heyday Marketing for being awarded with Marketing Agency of the Year by the South Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce at their 27th annual Sunshine Awards. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, Anabel. It was a proud moment for us. It was something that we didn't expect, but it came and they called us and they told us, and we were very humbled and very grateful for that honor from the chamber.
I love it. And can you share with our viewers a little bit about your partnership with Heyday Marketing?
Well, the great thing about the partnership that we did with Heyday, which is how can I say, one's climbing up that ladder, and then you have the other youngins coming up the ladder with more knowledge than the knowledge that you have.
Right.
So I'm a true believer in the sense of, getting together with people that understand something better than you.
Okay.
I mean, for me, in that example is if you're building a house, I'm not gonna get into the plumbing situation. I'm gonna get a good certified plumber to do the plumbing. So in this case, Heyday came on board and we merged together, and their expertise in the whole world of the digital and social media world. So it was for me it was a match made up in heaven, because we united as a piece that was written on us and everything, which is called traditional meets modern.
Right.
So and that's what we did. So we are a full service agency, which we still specialize in traditional media, which is all your media buying with television, radio, cable, everything that you comes along with traditional media. And then we join forces with Heyday and their expertise, which is social and digital. So between both of us, we've been able to unite and introduce to their clients and our clients the best of both worlds. And until now, it's been a home run.
Yes,
And it's been
absolutely.
working out specifically very well, especially in the Hispanic market,
Correct, because that's what you target the most.
which is what we like to
Mhm.
target. It's very important people to understand. Some folks, and I can give you an example. We were with a client on the day before yesterday. I was going to turn to Jackie over here, but she remembers, which is a big company and an oats company. And
Oats?
oats,
Like rolled oats?
like oats, like
Oatmeal.
for oatmeal
Oh.
and stuff like that. And then basically, we're talking about the whole Hispanic media and aspect of how people can differentiate the Hispanic with general market.
Okay.
In turn, he tells me, we hired before this. We had a huge company in Chicago, and again, I'm not mocking the general market Hispanic or agencies at all. I'm saying the difference is that he says we hired a general market agency in Chicago and told them that we also want to really concentrate on the Hispanic market. You know, we are the Hispanic is the largest minority out there,
Correct.
with a power of buying power of billions of dollars. So basically, he said, okay, not a problem. They said, not an issue. They presented him with a package of talking about Hispanic within Miami, New York, Houston, California. And he saw that it was, for him, was a little bit off, because he sees that the person that they're getting, they want to get one spokesperson. for the campaign
Okay.
in the Hispanic market.
Okay.
So then this person that they're getting is a person that is a Californian Mexican, like soap opera type star.
Okay.
So to be like their voice, there's nothing wrong with that. But the fact is that when you're going to speak to all different Hispanics throughout the US, you have to speak to them in their language.
Correct, because every Spanish is completely different.
It's
And
completely different.
I can't express that enough.
Yes.
So Colombian Spanish is different
Yes.
from Spanish from Spain,
Yep.
which is Castilian.
Correct.
And we use different dialects.
Yes,
We
we all
choose to
do.
use different words. So what would you say is the most generic Spanish?
Correct. And then basically what happens is that where you're going to come and speak to Hispanics in Miami, you need to speak to them
Cuban.
in the Miami tone.
Correct.
Doesn't even have to be Cuban.
No.
Because there's such diversity in Miami.
Of course.
But you need to know that lingo. You Miamians can't speak to the New York Hispanic.
Correct.
Puerto Rican.
I was just going to say Puerto Rican.
You have to, Dominican. You have to. They have to hear it in their own lingo, because we have words that they understand. We have other words that they don't understand. So then again, in California, you have to speak in a Mexican Californian.
Correct.
Hispanic, because that's how you have to. And it's funny because a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
And when you go in and sit down with these Fortune 500 companies, which I have done and sat down there, and some people tell me, this is crazy. What are you talking about? And I go, listen, major business that we get from general market agencies, big general market agencies, which I won't name, but New York firms, Chicago firms call us to help them with the Hispanic campaigns.
Yeah.
Which is the correct thing to do, because they figure we're not going to go out now and hire X amount of people. They don't, they say we have to hire then this person. So the correct thing to do is these general market agencies will go ahead and say, okay, we're having a campaign in Miami. Let me hire a local agency in Miami.
That makes sense.
Yes. We have a campaign in New York. Let me hire a New York campaign, which I'll say, I think that's the best thing you do. At the same time, that's why we've done offices in the 3 different areas,
Houston
and in New York.
That's
in the sense that we understand the markets, we have the talents for it, and those talents you can use anywhere from TV stations, radio stations, which is people that the audience can relate to and understand.
Correct.
A little tidbit on that. People don't understand that general market agencies or clients, they say, why do Hispanics love the fact of the radio and the television? And I go, because a lot of us that came from countries that have been taken over, either by communism or dictatorship, their way of getting messages across were newspapers. They would take over the newspapers. They would take over the radio stations. They would take over the television stations. The best example I can give you is Cuba. Right. And that's what happened when Castro came down.
Absolutely.
He took over the radio station, the TV stations. So then before that, everybody would get their news from the TV and from the radio. So, when you want to feel secure, you want to feel something going on. What do we do when we hear a hurricane coming? What do you get to? You would get to the television, you get to the radio.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
To listen to what's going on. So basically, you trust the information. You feel a little bit more, Anabel's giving us a report on what's going on. You feel more secure what Anabel's getting the information from.
Absolutely.
So that's why a lot of the Hispanics tend to love
traditional media.
The traditional media. Yeah. And that's why I give that explanation, because a lot of companies don't understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, yet we're moving into all the digital and social world, but you can't discard the radio and the television.
100%. I agree. And even in my generation, I still believe that traditional media is so extremely important. It's just a mix of everything.
It's a mix of everything. There's still people out there. It's like the newspaper. There's still the people that love their newspaper.
I love reading a newspaper.
Everybody likes the feel of sitting down, having your coffee and reading your newspaper.
Absolutely.
I get the people do the whole phone. I got it. But the newspaper is still still a very important factor in our community.
Yes, and I would like to put a little plug in there because I was at Mercedes-Benz yesterday, and Miami's Community News had the Coral Gables newspaper. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is wonderful.
Yes,
Like
I
they
mean,
just had it there, and everybody wants it. Like
you're sitting down, they're
everybody's
doing
reading it.
service, and people's
Yeah,
reading it. So
exactly.
it's vital.
It
It's
is.
vital.
It is, and I'm so glad that you mentioned that. And so I was reading a little bit about your background, and you have such an impressive background, not just on a professional level, but also on a personal level. You are involved with many well known organizations throughout South Florida, throughout the country.
Yes.
And we want to focus on today, because I know it means a lot to you, to talk about one of the organizations that you're heavily involved with, which is La Liga Contra el Cáncer, in English, the League Against Cancer.
Correct.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I think it's so important, nowadays to get information straight from the source.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Well, thank you for that, because the league is, for me, such an important institution and pillar in South Florida. The League Against Cancer was originated and done in Cuba. So, with the sole purpose of treating people that did not have any type of money, or didn't have the insurance, or didn't have
Right.
the resources of when you are told that horrific word of cancer. So
Correct.
basically, when the dictator and beast of Castro took over Cuba, the doctors and the founders over there came towards Miami, and they came with the purpose of opening the league in South Florida.
And
They
it opened
succeeded.
in 1959?
1959.
Correct.
So then basically, they came, the founders over there came and founded it over here with the same purpose. And the motto of the league is so unique, because what the league does is takes all these doctors that are volunteers,
Okay.
and they see the patients for free at the League Against Cancer. So to give you a little bit of the background how the league works,
Yeah.
the league now, we have seen over 80 some thousand patients in the
Amazing.
league, and
Since its inception?
since inception.
Since
And
19 wow.
we have every type of nationality in the league, and I invite anybody and TV viewers out there, and yourself. I would love for you guys to pass by the league one day. The
What is
league
the physical
the
location?
league is right there on 12th and Coral Way, on the 5 points
Okay.
of Coral Way. You can't miss it. It's in the corner. The beauty of the League Against Cancer is, if you are a person that right now, and as we all know how healthcare has changed and the different things, we also change with the new regulations and healthcare, how it's going now. But some people have huge deductibles that you can't. You say, I have a 20,000 deductible. The only way you can get that
Oh,
deductible is
wow.
if you go to, a lot of people
Yeah.
with,
That's a lot.
that has insurance, but it's low income insurance.
Yeah.
The only way you can get that is you got to go into a hospital.
Right.
So then basically, the league sees patients that either have no money, have no insurance, or, get lower than whatever the poverty line at that moment is. And we go by the same healthcare as guidelines as all the community hospitals like Jackson and everything else. We go through that same regulatory and social services to see the patient. You can come to the league if you got diagnosed with that horrific sickness, which is cancer.
And we're talking about all cancers.
All cancers,
Okay.
all ages,
All ages. Wow.
race, kids, adults, whatever. You have that. The league will interview you. The social workers will interview you. You qualify. You will go ahead and be seen by, I can tell you, doctors that are all from University of Miami, Sylvester Cancer Center, from
Amazing.
Baptist, from all the big institutions here. Our president of the league, which is one of my mentors and person that I simply just look up to so much, is Dr. Luis Villa. He is a professor at Sylvester, and he has been president of La Liga for many, many years. One of Miami's top oncologists. He's an oncologist, pathologist, hematologist.
Wow.
So basically, you have all these other doctors. We have our doctor, our medical director, which is Dr. Leonel Noy, also very well-known family here in the community of their three generations of doctors in oncology. And basically also the Moss family, Dr. Moss. All these are doctors that have been with La Liga. Their families, their parents have been involved some way, shape, and form with the Liga in all these years. The uniqueness of La Liga is, again, you get all your treatments done in the league. You get your chemo done at the Liga.
Oh, wow.
If you need radiation, La Liga has all the different centers that you can go. If there's surgery, anything has to be done, the transportation, we do it all. So it's that, I want to say, that concierge service, but to that person that really needs it, we take you from A all the way to Z. And it's a family. And the biggest generator of income for La Liga is your annual telethon
Yes.
that we do.
Okay.
And we have our telethon this September. Things have been modified.
A month from
Yeah,
now.
from right now, it's September 15th. So we do that through live television.
In a studio?
No, we do it live in the Dade County Youth Fair. It's in the
Oh,
Dade
wow.
County Youth
Fun.
Fair. So a lot of things have changed because by the way, the league's telethon is the only live television telethon that exists in the United States. Because after Jerry Lewis,
There's no more
there's no
telethons that are
telethon.
live.
So our
Wow.
telethon was the biggest telethon, and then came COVID. So we had to modify and do a little bit of the digital. So for the last 2 years, we did it in studio with the channel that does it with us,
What channel is that?
which is channel 51,
Oh, 51.
Telemundo.
Okay, Telemundo.
And we do it with them, and we did it in studios. Usually the telethon was a huge production. Stage wise, we had the audience that the people from Miami were invited to come because we have artists.
So there's audience.
Oh, there was audience.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, but that
This is
stopped now because of the COVID.
Right.
So, but at that time we had all the different artists, Amaury Gutierrez, Habita, all these
Right.
Hispanic land artists, John Cicada, the Estefan family, all these people would come in and perform, and at the league, at the telethon. And we had the the audience, we had the patients, we had the phone bank. So we did the telethon with almost 2,100 volunteers
Oh, wow.
answering phones,
That's amazing.
doing everything. I mean, it's a huge production. This year, after COVID, we're going back to similar model, not completely, because a lot of people learned after COVID that a lot of things could be done
Virtually.
So a
But it
lot
takes
of
away
yes,
so
it
much of
does.
the-
But a lot of these artists that they came and performed on for free,
Yeah.
because the artists came to perform for free. Some of them now are trying to get back on their feet because of 2 years. Remember, a lot of these artists make their money on tours
Absolutely.
and singing. So basically, we can't mock them for that because that's their livelihood.
Correct.
So basically, in one way it's bad, but one way it's good because we're getting some artists that really could never come. Now they're performing and they send the video.
Do you have any lineup?
We, as of right now, we still don't have one, but we usually have a lot of the knowns. Remember, that was one of the biggest stars that we had always, that she was one of our pillars for the league, was Celia Cruz.
Okay.
So Celia was and is to this day
Amazing.
the person for the Liga. She would come from wherever she was on tour just to come do the telethon.
That's amazing.
And it was, she forever would be League Against Cancer. But again, I invite all your TV viewers, look into the Liga, go to their website, which is www.ligaagainstcancer.org. You can come visit us at the Liga and see the work that the league does. It's amazing when you have all these volunteer doctors that come and see the patients.
That is so heartfelt and
I
so
mean,
amazing.
it's incredible. And I've been with the league since I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
My grandmother worked for the league in Cuba.
In La Habana, Cuba,
In
where
La Habana,
it originated.
Cuba. Yes, where it originated. So she would go out in the streets with all her friends and collect money, what they call in Spanish alcancías, which is a little piggy banks.
No.
And they would go and collect. It's made out of the coffee cans, and to this day we still do it. And we do it with like the Pilon Butelo family,
goodness,
that they
that's
give us the
coffee for
cans.
those that don't know.
Yeah, it's coffee. And we wrap it with the Liga logo.
Oh, I love it.
And we give them like in different stores. Publix does a lot of stuff with us during the time when Dixie also. All these folks go, and Sedanos
I
and
was going to say Sedano,
Sedanos, and
Navarro.
they put the little alcancía, and people can just put, money
I
and
love
put
that.
whatever in it. So again, it's a tradition that we like to do, and it's a tradition that I started, which were called the cangrejitos, which is the
Oh,
young.
that's why we have the little logo with the
Yes,
little
with the
crab.
crab. So that's the logo of the league. And we would do cangrejitos. And it's beautiful because the cangrejitos and the juniors, it's a group of all young kids from different schools throughout Miami that come and volunteer that day. And their job is, I think, one of the most important because they sort out the mail already for us there.
Right.
So in the league, it's such a huge production because while the people are taking the pledges, as soon as you rip the pledge that's gonna, it's already being carbon copied to the envelope, and we already pre-sorted, so we save that money
Oh,
from the postal part. The kids already start sorting out by zip codes, so that thing the next morning goes straight to the post office out, so people get their pledges in about a day. So that's a job that all these kids do. They do events throughout the whole year for the league as well. Little, and moving along with La Liga. Now I'm a volunteer, just as all the doctors.
I
I did
love
not
it.
get paid by the league.
And I want to
So
ask you why. The why. It's always important to
well,
understand that.
I'll tell you why. But for me, the biggest why was the fact of it was something that my grandmother instilled in me and my sister and everything in our family, and always to give back.
Okay.
It doesn't matter your position. You could be at whatever level, you have to give back.
And it wasn't that you had a family member that suffered from
Well,
cancer?
that's a little bit
More.
more into detail.
Yeah.
Like for later in the years, my grandmother passed away of cancer.
Okay. Sorry.
And
to hear
then
that.
strongly enough, I'm a cancer survivor.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a cancer
Congratulations.
survivor. And the fact is that I'd even do it because of the Liga. I got my cancer diagnosis when I was 30 some years old.
Way
And
long when
way
you
after.
way after.
And ironic, that's what people don't understand. Anyone can get cancer.
No matter how healthy you are,
No matter how
it
healthy you
doesn't
are.
matter. It's true.
It's
I agree.
and one of the things that the Liga does itself is we do so much preventive.
Oh, okay. That's
So the
interesting.
Liga throughout the whole year, which is important, and I invite your viewers, we do free mammograms.
That's wonderful. And a
Okay.
woman should start doing that. It says like around 40. I think 30.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. You lose nothing.
No, absolutely
I'm
not.
with you.
It's an
And
exam.
just like men, you at a certain age, you have to already start, checking your PSAs, your blood work.
Correct.
It's called preventive. Preventive
Absolutely.
medicine saves lives.
And this is something La Liga does complimentary.
La Liga does complimentary throughout the whole year.
Amazing.
So basically, you can call the League Against Cancer, and I'll give you the number, which is 305-856-4914.
And also the website.
And the
I
website.
have laligacontraelcancer.org.
Correct. And basically, you can call, and if you don't have insurance and you don't have the resources, you can give your information, and the Liga will take it, and they'll tell you if you qualify them for your free mammogram, and they will send you your certificate and the place where you go, where they'll do the mammogram for free. And I will tell you this much, that usually all the mammograms, and by the way, also the league does pap tests for women.
Oh, amazing.
Okay, for free as well. So 10% of those people come back positive.
Look at
And they end up being a patient of La Liga.
Look at that.
So this is why it's so important, because I don't need to tell you the cost of medicine for radiation, chemo. One patient can go anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000.
And I would suggest also, obviously it's funded. However, if you're a person like myself that does have insurance, I would not use those free services.
Correct.
Because I have insurance.
Yeah, so that's why if you have the insurance, there, because you got to go through the qualification process. So the Liga will, knows if you have insurance or don't have insurance. So, but if any family member or anything in that sort, or even has not had a mammogram, and that, listen, I don't have the resources, my insurance doesn't cover it, or my deductible is so high that I can't get that, that's where the league kicks in and can help you out. So again, I tell you, the League Against Cancer for me is a lifesaver.
Absolutely.
It's something, and even if you don't need it, donate to the League Against Cancer. every dollar you give to the League Against Cancer, 90 cents goes towards the patients. The
That's
league
amazing.
has a very short thing of staff. Everybody else is volunteers. Our doctors are volunteers. I'm a volunteer. I produce. I do the telethon for the Liga from our part, and all my services and everything is for free. Everything that you donate goes to treat that patient, which is so important.
Are there other events coming up besides the telethon where people, if they're interested, they could go ahead and volunteer?
Well, the as of right now, I would love if anybody wants to come and answer phones. We have
Oh, that's great.
we have both for Spanish lines and English lines. So again, you can go to www.leagueagainstcancer.org, or you can call 305-856-4914, and you can call a Liga and say you would love to become a volunteer for the telethon. We need people to answer phones.
I want to volunteer.
We would love to have you. We would love to have you there.
Good.
That'd
Okay.
be great.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Manny. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
No, I just really want to. I want to thank you. I want to thank the program. I think these programs are so vital for our community.
I agree.
And we got to continue supporting our local community newspapers and programming like this. So I really congratulate you, and I congratulate Grant and everything here in the community newspaper for the work you guys are doing.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much. We appreciate you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you to our sponsor, Heyday Marketing, a full-service digital advertising, marketing, and public relations agency based right here in Miami, Florida. Again, I am your host, Anabel Hume, live from the studios of Miami's Community News. Thank you.
Thank you.